Well, all right, everybody. Welcome back to Mob Vlog. Adam Flowers here. It is October 31st, 2023. Happy Halloween, everybody. We got a special one for you today. Welcome back. It's Mob Vlog. And with me today, we have Red Wemette. How are you doing, Red?
I am smiling.
Good. You should smile. When you smile, the whole world smiles with you. Isn't that Mel Torme, I think? When you're smiling. All right, guys, welcome into the room and into the show. All Too Customs, Merry Halloween. Yeah, you know that stuff's already showing up on the shelves in the stores. You believe that? Tommy Bridges, Tim Peroni, Tim Hunt, Brady, Jim Magnifici, Eric Epstein, Frank Ferraro, Luminous Grin. Welcome in, everybody. It's been a little while, and Halloween season's finally kind of coming to an end over here. And Red and I are going to get back to it, so we should be seeing you guys on a weekly basis. So let's get into this. Hit the like button, guys, if you're just coming in. Be sure to smash it. Greetings, Greg Anderson. It's good to have you with us. Good to see you. And ghosts. We're going to talk about mob. We're going to talk about ghosts and mob ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
There are mob ghosts. And I have a story for you guys. We're going to tell a little bit later about Frank Cullotta. Something I experienced. I was telling Red about it the other day. There was they did a seance, Denny Griffin, and I'm going to tell you what was said. Denny had this psychic do a reading and a medium and talk to Frank, and I'm going to tell you what she said, because she said some things that she couldn't have known. I mean, there's no way anybody would have known these. So we're going to touch on that a little later too this afternoon. Jim Yeager, Kevin Rathert. Nice to see you. John Wallace, all the way from Albuquerque. Welcome on in. Smash the like button, guys, if you're just coming in. So, you have any ghost stories, Red?
Not that I want to share.
Not that you want to share. That's a safe answer, I suppose. You got ghost stories that you don't want to share. Are they that haunting?
Ghost? Yeah.
Are they that frightening?
Disturbing.
Okay, we'll leave it at that then. We'll leave it at that. I have a couple ghost stories, my own personal experience, and then we're going to get into our ghosts out here in Vegas that we have. We talk about, including Benjamin Siegel. That's a very famous haunting, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Siegel. I mean, that's so highly documented and purported. So we're going to talk about that. I have some photos, too, to show you. As you know, we run the Vegas Mob Tour, but we also have the Haunted Vegas Tour and the Goodsprings Ghost Hunt and the Crime Tour. Hey, Joe Cullotta. It's nice to see you today. Happy Halloween. Anthony, Julie M., Endangered Species. Nice to have all of you in here today. Smash that like button. I know this is Tuesday. It's not Wednesday. Everybody's usually ready for us on Wednesday, but we figured since it's Halloween, let's do it up. So why not? Yeah. Do you know where ghosts make love, Red?
Between the sheets.
Oh my God, he knows it already. Told you that one, huh? Yeah. I see. Julie M., happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. It's nice to have you with us today. So as people are starting to come in, I'm going to tell you guys a ghost story, something I experienced. Now, and this was when I was a kid. This happened to me, and I didn't know if it was something I dreamt or if I actually experienced it. But I was about 10 years old. As you guys know, I lived in Calumet City, parents' house. And I had a aunt and uncle that lived in Albuquerque, and he was the cool uncle, Uncle Fred. He's the reason that I got into playing the piano. He was a concert pianist. He was unbelievable, and he was the cool uncle. He was the uncle that said, "Oh, let's go up to Colorado." He had a ranch up there. Got out the rifle. Let's go shoot some, some bottles down. And here's the keys to the Bronco. Go drive the Bronco. I'm a little kid, but he's a cool uncle. Right? So
Let's have a beer.
no, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. But let's drive the truck and let's shoot the guns. That was something that was that was pretty cool. And how to spot where airplanes are because they're always in front of where you hear them. Things you learn as a kid. And since the Denver Air Force Academy is right out there, there was a lot of jets all the time up by the which was something I didn't see much of in Chicago. So anyway, one night in Chicago, laying in my bed sleeping, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and my light on my room turned on, and I looked over by the door, and there was my uncle. And I got all excited, like, Uncle Fred's in town. And he walked in, and he kind of pulled the sheets up a little on me, and he patted me on the head, and I went back to sleep. And so I went back to sleep, and in the morning I got up and I went downstairs. My mom and dad were getting things ready. My dad was making breakfast. I was getting my school books together. And I hear my dad say to my mom, "Do you want to tell him or should I?" And I said, "Oh, that's right." I said, "Uncle Fred's in town. Is he upstairs? Is he in the guest room? Where he came in late, right?" And my parents looked at each other and they looked at me and said, "Why would you say that?" And I said, "I saw him last night. He came in my room when he got to town. Must have been late. I figured my parents were surprising me. Uncle Fred's in town." And my dad looked at me and said, "Your Uncle Fred passed away last night."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is a ghost story.
True story. A true story. And I swear for my whole life, I believe that I saw that up until 2020 when we lost my dad. So when we lost my dad, you got to remember everybody got sick and I wasn't feeling well. I normally don't sleep during the day, but I wasn't feeling well. And I said to my wife, I'm going to go lay down. I wasn't feeling well. I didn't know if I was sick or not, but I laid down upstairs and I went to sleep. You ever have a dream that's so vivid and so realistic it bothers you?
All the time.
You do? I've only had that happen a few times in my life, that it was so real that I went, what the hell's, Anyway, I dreamt that my dad, that he passed away. And I was at my mom's house on the phone with the doctors, and they're saying he's not responsive, this, that. And my mom and I are sitting there. Dude, Red, when I woke up from that dream, I walked downstairs and I said to my wife, I'm like, I just had the worst dream ever. Do you believe 2 weeks later, I'm sitting there at my mom's on the hope chest with the speakerphone, just like in my dream. I mean, identical. So maybe I had a premonition of some sort. Could be. Yeah. Bobby Bag of Donuts. Carl Foster. It's nice to see all of you guys. Luminous Grin. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. So out here in Las Vegas, we have some hauntings. And Benjamin Bugsy Siegel, haunts the Flamingo. Now, this was reported for years. And by the way, this is the only casino in Las Vegas that admits that they're haunted, is the Flamingo. They bragged about it, Red. Back in the 80s, they bragged about it.
I heard about it.
Okay. So it was rumored in the 60s, 70s. It was made into a publication. The haunting started right after Benjamin was killed, June 20th, 1947. And it was reported that his 4-story suite, I say a high rise because in the 40s it would have been considered a high rise, 4 stories. But his 4-story suite, which had bulletproof glass in the windows, there was a trap door that led down a ladder to an underground parking garage with a chauffeured vehicle on duty 24/7. I mean, this guy was a little paranoid, right? And then he's sitting in front of an open window on Beverly Hills. A gunman with an M1 carbine rifle shows up and shoots a barrage of bullets through the window. 4 of them hitting Benjamin in the back, exiting his chest, and two hit him in the back of the head. One exited his right cheek, the other exited his left eye socket, sent his eyelid sailing 15 feet across the room. That's how Benjamin met his demise.
Closed casket.
He was what?
Closed casket.
He was. Back then, morticians, what they would do is they would pour plaster of Paris into the holes to fill them in the face, and that's what they did to him. But yeah, closed casket. I believe you're on about that. So after he passed away, he's haunting at the Flamingo. It made it into a publication in the 70s, and then in the 80s, when all the big mega resorts were popping up in Vegas, like the Mirage, the smaller casinos were competing. So their marketing team ran with it. There was a big interest in paranormal in the 80s. If you remember Ghostbusters.
Oh,
yeah. It was a big interest. So the marketing team at the Flamingo put out a commercial, and it was bring the whole family to Las Vegas, stay at the Flamingo. Maybe your kids will catch a glimpse of Benjamin Siegel's ghost. Dude, they bragged about it being haunted. So every casino in Vegas is haunted, by the way. I mean, there's no in-betweens on it. Anywhere people have lived and died, there could be a haunting. That's just how it goes. But that's what they saw. Now, they tore down his 4-story suite back in 93, and in 94 they built this tropical area out back behind the flamingos. Got Chilean flamingos, a black swan. There's koi fish in the ponds. It's very beautiful. Pelicans out back, and there's a wedding chapel. And this picture was taken by one of our guests of the wedding chapel. I'm going to put it up on the screen in just a second. It's an orb in motion, what we believe to be an orb in motion. Bobby Bag of Donuts. Hey, Adam, what about the gangster on your tour in the abandoned house? Ever see him anymore? No, I haven't seen that guy. I sure haven't. Bobby, no. Anyway, so all right, let's put this up, this picture. You guys take a look and you tell me what you think. But this is the wedding chapel. Okay?
Oh, mackerel.
You see that orb going through the picture there in the center? It's like
that's what I call a spirit.
You see that? It's a swoosh going through the wedding chapel. Now, if you stand in front of the wedding chapel and you turn around, you'll be facing a monument built to a mobster. This is the monument right here. Now, that photo again was taken by one of our guests and sent in to us. Do you see the orb, the top left above the monument? Red?
I'm looking.
It's the ball in the air. You see that?
Yes.
And it's kind of has a bluish hue to it.
Right.
Benjamin had blue eyes. So is that the ghost of Benjamin Siegel? We'd like to think that it is. Who knows? Here's another one of that monument. Look at that.
Wow.
You see, that's a bright orb traveling through the photograph. This is kind of crazy. This stuff shows up. So
that was in front of his head.
Yeah, that one right over the guy's head. So here's another one. This is behind the flamingo, okay? Near the monument area. There's an orb in the top left by the tree right there. If you see that.
Yeah.
And then the bottom right, do you see the orb between the two planters down there in the bottom right side of the screen?
Yes.
It's smaller, it's tiny. That also is behind the flamingo. So we got orbs showing up behind the flamingo. Anyway, why would Benjamin
spirits?
What'd you say?
Multiple spirits.
There could be. Again, there could be. I mean, this is Las Vegas. You know, we have 49 million people a year come through this town. And not everybody goes home the way that they came here. Some go home in a box, you know. Some do. Anyway, it's our ghosts there at the Flamingo, Benjamin Siegel. Now, I asked Frank Cullotta once if, and this was after I heard. See, he told Robert Allen a story about when he first moved to town here. He was in his house and he was looking across the room and there were shadow figures moving around. And he thought that it was Tony Spilotro, that the ghost of Tony Spilotro. So I asked Frank one day, I said, hey, did you ever say anything about seeing Tony's ghost or something like that to Robert? Because he mentioned that to me. And Frank said, yeah, there was this thing that, this shadowy thing that came to him. But he said he had dreams, that Tony came to him in his dreams, Tony Spilotro. And in both times that he said he saw him in his dreams, he was wearing a white suit, and he was happy. He was happy to see Frank in the dream. So who knows? Maybe could be. Here's a picture. Do you want to see a picture of me, Red?
Go ahead.
I'm going to be a bit of a narcissist for a minute, okay?
Yes. By the way, speaking,
yeah.
How did that show go? Did you record it?
Oh, the show, yeah. We were on the news this morning. So, John, I don't recall. There was a Blake's Big Boy down the street from them, about 10 minutes away. I can't remember much about it. I was a kid. I know there was a tennis court, and it was by the Sandia Peaks is where he was. I remember you could see the trams from there. That's about what I can remember, though. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. So here, let's take a look at this photo. This picture, this is really compelling. Like when I first started doing the ghost tours and mob tours in Vegas, little skeptical, you might say. Having a background in magic makes me a bit skeptical. I mean, it's yeah. So I'm a bit skeptical about how these things work and what happens. So Bobby Bag of Donuts has a comment. When I first moved into my in my house here in Green Valley, I had a spirit in my house, dashing by, closing doors, and in my bedroom there was a cold wind blowing through it once in a while. It left, I guess. Man, tell you what, when we were having this house here cleaned, first moving in, somebody came over and saged it. While we were upstairs saging, we heard somebody scream downstairs, a woman scream. There was nobody downstairs, Red, but we heard somebody scream. So, Bobby, you might want to consider having your house saged to get rid of these spirits. So, FYI, those look like lighting glare artifacts I get on my Sony A6000 camera. It only happens in certain light condition. I get dots like that, but the orbs or light beams through the window are scary. Yeah, Tommy, it's so the engineers at Canon and at Sony rather, and at Canon, they call those orbs what they call backscatter. And unlike a regular film camera, the aperture doesn't just open, light comes in, and then it closes. In a digital camera, the aperture opens, the field is scanned like a scanner, okay? It's scanned, and then the aperture closes. So they call that backscatter. But let me show you this picture. Now, this was taken out in Fox Ridge Park, where there are a couple of hauntings. There's the boy on they call it the demon swing, and the lady that walks the park at night. The boy was killed by a driver chasing a ball out into the street, and the woman was killed by her husband. He was a doctor.
I was out there on the tour.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy. So here's this picture. This is 17 years ago, this picture of me. And before I put this up, let me preface this. I was with a friend. Her and I did the tour, and after the tour that night, she said, let's go check out Fox Ridge Park. Okay. So we went back to Fox Ridge. We're walking around the park. We're kind of in the back area of the park. And she, being very sensitive to spirits, says, I think I feel something's here right now. Me joking around, I put my arm out like I'm putting it over somebody's shoulder. And I say, quick, take a picture of me with a ghost. This is the picture she took. Now.
Wow.
Do you see the orb next to my head, next to my face? I mean, it's like right next to my face, like it came over to me. And if you look closely at that orb, you'll see a face in it. You see a face in that orb.
Yes.
Yeah. Look at this, 10/24 of '06 at the bottom of the picture. Now, behind me to the right, you see that green mist in the air, and it comes up right behind me, and it looks like it goes right, turns kind of orangish, and it goes right through me in the photograph. Do you see that?
Yes.
All right, that's beyond creepy to me. Okay, and it looks like a little kid's face in the orb. I mean, it's really, really strange. So, yeah, that's 17 years ago, folks. So we have that.
Adam, the only reason I didn't want to share my story was I don't have any pictures of it. I don't have any pictures of it. But I'll share it with you guys now.
Okay.
Now that Adam opened up.
Sure.
When I moved into this house, I was talking to people doing rehab work and stuff like that. And it was during the Obama era where people were, I don't know, young people were going out and taking copper from underneath the house.
Oh, sure.
And I had seen something in the house like a mist. And it never talked to me. It moved around. But I decided not to talk about it. I didn't want to be put in that house, you know?
Sure.
All of a sudden, this one young man told me, he said, I was underneath, without me even telling anybody about it. He said, I was underneath the house one time and I heard somebody walking like it was creaking, but the house was all boarded up. It was all locked up. It had been empty for like 14 years, been completely empty.
Yeah.
And later on after that, right after he told me, I saw like, I don't know, kind of like out of the movie Poltergeist. It looks like Spielberg. I mean, it was moving. It was a spirit, but it never spoke to me. It never said anything. And it would go through walls. It'd go through anything.
Really?
Yeah. And so I didn't want to talk about it. I really didn't, because I figured everybody was going to think I was nuts.
Right.
Yeah. I spoke to one or two people that I knew real well. And they said, that's weird. And only one other person saw it. And I just thought, maybe I better keep this to myself.
Yeah. Sure. That's kind of creepy.
And there was a man. I talked to the estate. I was in the estate, and I talked to her. And in the one bedroom, in the master bedroom, there was a hole in the floor where they put like a toilet sewage or something right next to the bed. That guy lived in the bed for like 4 or 5 years.
Oh.
Got out of bed, and he died in that bed.
Oh.
So we gutted that room completely, took all the plumbing out of it.
Yeah.
And said, and I haven't, the guy's gone. You know, it's just one of those kind of things where people ask me, occasionally somebody will ask me, have you seen anything lately? And I said, no, haven't seen anything in years.
Wow. You never had somebody come over and check it out for you, clean your house?
I never wanted to tell people about it.
Well, now you told the world.
I was afraid they were going to think I was nuts.
Yeah, everybody probably thinks you're nuts now. Yeah. All right. So, welcome in, everybody. Devin Morrell is here. Robert Petrus, Tony Osmond. It's nice to see you. So, Devin has a question. Red, were you sampling the Quicksilver that night? Were you? Just kidding.
No.
Sampling the Quicksilver.
I wasn't even drinking.
Wow. All right. Here's another photo. So this is taken out in Green Valley Park here in, it's actually in Henderson, Green Valley Park. 2 boys' bodies were found out there. We don't know if they were dumped there or if they were killed there and or if they were killed somewhere else, but that's where their bodies were found. You're going to see a picnic table. Next to the picnic table, there is a little outdoor barbecue grill, okay? Right in between the picnic table and the grill, there are 2 sets of feet. If you look closely, you can damn near see the swoosh on their shoe, the Nike swoosh. and it goes up, and then it turns into a mist over the picnic table. Take a look at this.
Oh, wow.
See that on the bottom right in front of that square barbecue grill? You see the 2 sets of feet?
Yeah.
And then you see that mist that it turns into over the top of the barbecue? Yeah. So that was taken to also one of our guests. You know what else we have as a ghost out here in Vegas? Celebrity ghost, and the one who talks about it all the time is Wayne Newton, Mr. Las Vegas. Wayne wrote a book called Once Before I Go. And in his book, that's where we first saw it. He talks about being on stage at the Hilton shortly after Elvis passed away. And him and his band leader worked out an Elvis medley to put into the show. And they got the timing all worked out. And the night they put it in, when he started singing, all the lights, all the monitors, they all went out except for one spotlight. And the band kept playing, and they kept singing. As he looked up in the balcony, he saw the ghost of Elvis.
There was a big story about that, and I remember it.
Yes.
That was some time ago.
Right. And, we have a lot of celebrity ghosts because, again, what they haunt where they had the best time or worst time. And so many performers in Vegas had the time of their careers here in town. Down in Primm, Nevada, there's 3 casinos: Primm Valley Resort, Buffalo Bills, and Whiskey Pete's. Whiskey Pete has this vehicle right here on display. That is Bonnie and Clyde's death car.
Wow.
It looks like a block of metal Swiss cheese. Look at all the bullet holes in that thing. Maybe when they died, their energy was absorbed into the car, and now they haunt there. But everywhere that car goes, the people who are around it, they say it's haunted. So, ghosts of Bonnie and Clyde out here. Another one that we have, Liberace. And that's highly, highly documented.
I heard about that one,
That
too.
is highly documented. That even made it in the news. You want to watch a quick clip of this? Listen to this. Let's watch a little bit of this.
A lot of us like to hear about things that go bump in the night this time of year.
But what if things that went bump in the night happened at where you work? Well, employees at the legendary Carluccio say that is what it's like at their restaurant. Fox 5's Lorraine Blanco is here to tell us all about it. Lorraine?
John and Shelley, they say they've seen things and heard things that have sent some running, including a few customers. But the longtime employees there tell us they're staying, even if sometimes they feel a little more than just goosebumps. Water running by itself. Toilets flushing, but no one's near it. Sometimes people even get stuck inside, and that's just the bathroom.
We've had bottles drop down from the bar area onto my head a couple of times, and I've actually seen something in a door one time. It spooked me so bad I just had to leave.
Carluccio's opened by Liberace himself back in the 80s. Near his piano, many experience a sudden chill.
When you start seeing your breath when it's warm, and then all of a sudden you start seeing your breath, that kind of freaks me out.
These recordings captured by that piano, equally freaky.
There's no other place in Las Vegas like this. To top it off, there's a paranormal aspect to it. There's a lot of my regular customers that are excited to hear and see and want to know.
They want to know about these pictures, like this one of an apparent apparition near the bar, or this one of a misty white substance obscuring the GM's face.
Our back door over here has a tendency to knock by itself.
But when employees check,
and there's nobody behind the door, nobody hanging out here, nobody hiding. And so it got to the point where there's the door again, just shaking.
Pretty crazy, huh? That's Carluccio's. Those pianos make noises that are in that restaurant at night. They make, not like somebody's playing them, like a player piano, not even a note or a chord, more like somebody strumming the strings inside. The pianos went into storage after the Carluccio family sold the restaurant, but they're back on display now out at Resort World, which is the site of where the Stardust used to be. And they put them out on display, and word is they're making noises again now that they're back in front of the public. So the restaurant, too, may be haunted again. Now, others saying maybe it might be the Mrs. Carluccio that's haunting it. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, yeah, pretty wild. Our celebrity hauntings out here in Vegas. pretty wild stuff. So, Red,
Yes.
want to talk about this ghost?
Oh, yeah.
Tupac.
Definitely.
Tupac haunts right where he was shot on that corner. That's the last picture of Tupac taken alive, by the way. And he also haunts at Suge's mansion, the old mansion that they used to hang out and party on the balcony. And after Tupac was killed, people in the neighborhood kept seeing Tupac's ghost. So, yeah. The phantoms of the Carluccios. Yeah, unbelievable. They turned it into a vegan restaurant. What a travesty. The food's pretty good there, actually, though, Bobby. It's not too bad. Is there an underground tunnel near Bally's? Is there an underground tunnel near Bally's? So there are over 300 miles of underground tunnels in Las Vegas, Kissy Cat, for the flooding problem. And because we have caliche and the sand doesn't absorb the water fast enough, we flood. When it drizzles out here, we flood. Okay, it's crazy how much. So they built this underground tunnel system, and we have the tunnel people that live in there, in the tunnels. The tunnel people. Yeah. And so... Is what?
Is it an aqueduct? Like for overflowing water?
Yeah, they connect them to all of the reservoirs. They built reservoirs around town, and as the reservoirs fill, that's what happens. They fill up in the tunnels. Yep, people die all the time in the tunnels. So, yeah, it's pretty gruesome. So, but they say that it's all haunted there. So, yeah. Pretty wild stuff. All right, let's take some comments, guys. Tupac, spelled backwards, is kaput. Wow, never heard that. There's an update in that Dwayne Davis. Yeah, so Dwayne Davis is living out here in Henderson, and he was Orlando Anderson's uncle. And Dwayne Davis, also known as Keefy D, put out a book some years ago, 6-7 years ago, and claimed in the book that he got the gun for his nephew Orlando and that he was in the white Cadillac the night that Tupac was shot. Said that it was him, a few other guys, 3 other guys, his nephew and 2 others, and that he was there when it happened. So
they raided his house?
Yeah, so after he did that, he did some interviews. He went on Vlad TV, that was one of the stations, one of the channels rather, and a couple other that he did interviews and said, yeah, I was there, I got him the gun. And there's no statute of limitation on murder or accessory to murder. I mean, and he's just as guilty if he's saying he was in the car. It'd be like if you and I got in the car and I drove and we got to the bank.
You're an accessory.
Yeah, we go to the bank, you run in with the gun, rob the bank, I just wait in the car. I'm just as guilty as you are. So anyway, September 28th, last month, they arrested and indicted Keefy D, Dwayne Davis, for the murder of Tupac Shakur. 27 freaking years later, Red. 27 years. Back in the day when it happened, they didn't have the evidence. They didn't have any evidence to pursue Orlando. You can go arrest the guy, but how do you prove that he was the gunman? There wasn't any proof. But now with Keefy D's confession, I mean, it's who does that? Who literally goes and does that? Who's like, I'm gonna go brag about killing somebody on YouTube? You gotta be a little off on that. I mean, why would you do that?
I have no idea.
I hope that comes out in the court trial, because we're gonna hear all that, the gritty stuff in the when the trial takes place. But I hope they ask him that. Why did you go and do that? Unbelievable. showed us the new residents of Keefe D's new. Oh, okay. So listen to this, Devin. So listen to this. The last person to talk to Tupac, the last person to say anything to Tupac was Chris Carroll. Officer Carroll. He was a sergeant at the time, bicycle cop. It was his guys that heard the shooting and yelled shots fired. They were over by the Flamingo area, just about a block from Koval and Flamingo where it happened. And they saw the convoy of cars going back to the strip and then heading southbound. And Chris is coming up from the MGM going northbound up the strip, thinking he's going to run into him, collide, which he did at Harmon and the strip. Anyway, long story short, he's the last one. Tupac's full of bullet holes, and he's going, trying to get a dying declaration. He said, "Who did this? Who did this to you?" And Tupac got a little breath together and said, "F you." Okay, those are his last words. In the hospital, he died. So we had Chris on our crime tour about 4 or 5 months ago, and we've been talked afterwards. And it turns out when they went and arrested Keefe D, Chris is sitting at his house going, "Why is SWAT rolling down my street?" Keefe D lives a few doors down from Chris. I mean, what are the chances of that, right? What are the chances? This guy that, anyways, kind of a funny coincidence, I thought. So, yeah. Hey, Mike Sully, glad that you're catching us live. And we're glad that we're catching you live. So
hit that like button, folks.
hit the like button, guys. If you're just coming in there, smash it, the like button.
We want to get those algorithms.
The algorithms. Keep the algorithms going, yes. So, hey, Tupac, you are kaput. Keefe D. Bobby Bag of Donuts. The rumor going around is that Puff Daddy arranged the murders of Biggie, Tupac, and Suge was supposed to go too. There are so many rumors, Bobby Bag of Donuts, about the Tupac murder. There was the East Coast, West Coast wars that were happening, the gang wars. You know what's really sick though? So they do these guys that do risk assessments for insurance companies. You know, they go, this guy wants to insure such and such, and how dangerous of a lifestyle does the guy live? And the risk assessors go out and they put all that together. So I watched a special on this. I couldn't believe this while I was watching the special, but the record labels that sign these rap artists.
Yes.
The record labels have risk assessment people go out and assess the rapper. How likely are they to end up getting shot? The more likely that they're to end up getting shot, the more likely they are to sign them. Because once they're shot and killed, then their music goes and makes...
The value goes way up.
Yeah. Once they're dead, they make all kinds of money. And that's, so yeah. Chuck Ellerton from Chicago. Nice to have you with us. Ellertson. I'm probably mispronouncing that. Anyway, Ryan Magnifici, you're late. Yes. So, Devin, the crime tour was very interesting. Devin came out here and took it with his wife. It is an interesting tour. It took a year to write that tour, and it's gotten nothing but really good reviews. Pete Byron, what did Frank C think of Halloween? Not much. He didn't think much of it. It wasn't like some people go, "Oh, Halloween, my God, I gotta put on this and wear, go out to costume contests and get dressed up." And Frank, as far as I know, wasn't much into it. I don't even think he was all about handing out the candy for the kids or anything either. It was just...
Well, Frank wasn't big on Christmas or Thanksgiving either.
No, he wasn't. Not really. Christmas, I think, enjoy, but anyway. No, Scott McTaggart, no way. Did you see who Keefe D's attorney is? Oscar Goodman's son. Are you kidding me? Scott, you're shitting me. I gotta say it. That's who Keefe D got, Oscar Goodman's son. I think his name's Eric. Goodman, I'm pretty sure. I thought he was a local judge, though. Oh, that's too funny. Wants an out of state. Wait. I gotta look this up because this is I can't. I gotta verify this. Dwayne Keefe D's California attorney to help arrange representation of Tupac. Told Judge Jones he wants a California attorney, Eddie Fall, to represent him. It wouldn't surprise me, though. Let's see if let me just type in Goodman in the search. Attorney Ross Goodman, who was representing Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, asked Clark County District Judge Tiara Jones for a 2-week continuance, and it was granted. The judge asked Goodman if he was Davis's lawyer, and Goodman said, "I'm not going to confirm that today." Okay, so we're going to take a look at that. Ross Goodman. Yeah, we're going to take a look. We'll follow that story, Scott. Thank you for bringing that up. So my brother loved Christmas and Thanksgiving. There you go. Joe Cullotta. Big meals, family gets together. But
he would know. He would know.
Right, Joe? I never got that off your brother that he was into Halloween, really. Bobby, bag of donuts. Do you see spirits haunting the Pioneer Saloon? Yes. Pioneer Saloon is haunted.
Definitely.
Hands down, that place is haunted. We were just on the morning blend this morning at the Pioneer doing an investigation. And we shot it a few nights ago. But yeah, doing an investigation there. I see the craziest stuff out there in Goodsprings. Last night we were standing by the ice house doing an investigation, and I use an app on my phone, okay, that works like an obelisk. It throws words up on the screen. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it's a bunch of gibberish, okay? But last night we were standing there, and there's always this kind of uneasy, unnerving feeling when you're by this little area in town. And we said, we had the spirit box on and everything going. Can you tell us your name? Red? I kid you not, dude. Satan popped up on the screen, and I went, okay, that's enough. We're out of here. I'm done. I don't know what are the chances of that happening, you know? So, yeah. In the 40s, if a grown-up on Halloween wore a costume, he could be committed. Pete Byron, no kidding, man. You know, it's here's what it's become. You know, it was for the kids, really. Costumes, trick-or-treating. Once you became a teenager, it was like, you really shouldn't be trick-or-treating anymore. But, you know, you saw the older kids still doing it.
You kind of outgrew it.
You kind of outgrew it, right? But now it's like girls dress up for Halloween, and it's kind of like, and I want to say sexy, like they dress up sexy. But I also want to use another derogatory term, you know, for it, because it's like, let's see who can get the, you know, the wildest, you know, on Halloween. So Fremont Street, man, Fremont Street on Halloween, forget it. That was nuts, man, going down to Fremont on Halloween. So Scott McTaggart, loved the crime tour, Adam. Scott was on it as well. Came on the tour with his wife, and I got to take him along. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Scott. That was my pleasure taking you on the tour. So come on back and do it again. I finally went to Jerry's Nugget. I got hit. Really? Jerry's Nugget? You got hit at Jerry's Nugget. That's no good. That's no good.
Get lots of
sleazy nurses on Fremont Street. Yeah, the sleazy nurses and nuns. You know, the nuns, the naked nuns. Oh my gosh. It used to be out there. It used to be about people that had some talent. Now it's just who can be the craziest. Hit the like button, guys. Don't forget to do that. Please smash that like button. That really helps us out a lot. We're going to be doing this back on a regular basis. We had to take a little break because I got super busy with work, guys, and I had to focus on that for a little while and take some time off from doing the mob vlog, but we are going to be doing this on a regular schedule back on Wednesdays again. Over the next couple of months, we'll be back in the regular routine and swing of things. And by 2024, you should be weekly again. So, you got hit on. You got asked out at Jerry's Nugget. Man, I can't imagine what kind of people you run into at Jerry's Nugget, man. That's like kind of like the worst part in town. Just go across the street to the Palomino Club, you're all set. That's a bad area. Whew, bad area. Don't drive through there at night. All the costumes for women are sleazy anything. That's what I was trying to say, Julie. It's like any adult costume for a girl, it's sleazy. It's like, what's the, everybody gets to dress up like a sex worker that night. What's going on? Do you notice how I used that politically correct? I said sex worker, Red. I didn't use any other words. Yeah. Glad you guys are back. Don't catch live, but love the replays. Great, Mike Sully. It's good to have you. Howard Herman, snow in North County, New York right now. 30 degrees now. Campwood stove really humming. Hunting tomorrow. I'd be huddled up around that stove too, man. 30 degrees. Woo! It was 48 last night in Goodsprings. And I was getting a little, I'm going back out there tonight. It's like, it's kind of cold. Kind of cold. That's why Halloween rocks. Of course you would say that, Luminous Grin. That's why it rocks, because hoods and hose night. There you go. That's funny. You guys are funny. Yeah. So, yeah, this is it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun on the show here. You know who else is haunting out here in Vegas? Red, this guy. That's him on the left. On the left, John Elroy Sanford, and on the right is his big brother Fred Sanford. Did you know that was his real name?
Yes.
Okay, because when Norman Lear asked him to do the show, Sanford and Son, he was doing it originally in the UK. It was called Steptoe and Son. And anyway, Red, the IRS took everything from that guy. I mean, everything from him. And now he's haunting the house that he used to live in. Here's a little clip of Red. This is him at the hacienda. This is the only thing I could find to play that won't get me in trouble on YouTube. Watch this.
My first impression. Eskimo going to the toilet.
And in case you guys didn't know it, the mob tour is up and running. You guys come to town, use that promo code right there at the bottom of the screen, 20% off mob vlog. Okay. And I think it's only appropriate to play this at this point.
Yo, Bugsy, it says here they got something called the Vegas Mob Tour.
Yeah, Bobby, ain't you heard? It's all about our old friends Sam Giancana, Meyer Lansky, Mo Dalis, and of course yours truly, Bugsy Siegel.
Are you kidding? A mob tour about us?
Yeah, they take you to where we used to hang out and to all the places where we used to do our crimes.
You mean they expose all our secrets?
Yeah, but it's okay, because we ain't around anymore. So, let's face it, we can't get busted.
Hey, you think we could sneak on board and check this out?
Of course we can. Forget about it. They'll never even know we're there.
Man, yesterday, October 30th, marks 7 years since Robert Allen passed away. 7 years. He was the one on the far left in that video. The one that says, yours truly, Bugsy Siegel. He passed away. 7 years. He was my mentor. He was a really, really, really great guy. I can't believe it's been that long. I thought about that last night when I was doing the tour, and I went, man, that long. Jeez. Anyway.
Mortality is not guaranteed.
No, it is not. We all end up finding out one day what comes next. what comes next. I've met Red a few times here. He used to come to Bally's every night after his show and play the same $1 slot machines. He was a cool person. Now, I've heard different stories about Red. But yeah, they came and took everything. The IRS, they called him and said, you owe us like $3 million or $1 million in back taxes. On the phone, Red said, you ain't helped me make any of it. You ain't getting any of it. Click. They showed up the next day with warrants and agents, pulled him out of the house, took his cars, took his furniture, his appliances, his clothes. The hacienda had to buy a wardrobe that they owned that Red could wear. And that way the IRS couldn't take it from Red because he didn't own it. The hacienda owned it. He needed
Talk about taking the shirt off your back.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Adam, you're worried too much. Everything's beautiful. I forgive you. Tim Hunt, I'm worried too much about what? I don't know what I'm worried that.
Reading your mind.
Yeah. Adam Stewart. Take Adam Stewart. He'll show it to you. Yeah. First, that's what they did to him. Anyway, there's a 4-part series about that on YouTube, Adam, on Red Fox. I have to check that out. So, what Halloween supper do ghosts eat? I don't know. Ghost toasties and shrouded wheat? I have no idea. I have no clue. Yeah, he died during filming Kissy Cat. Red grabbed his chest, went down on the set of, it was called The Royal Family. The working name of that show was Chest Pains, believe it or not.
Wow.
But they settled on The Royal Family. It was a show about Della Reese and Red, and they were these rich couple living in Hawaii and all the trials and tribulations that they would go through. So what do they eat for supper? Let us alone? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. I can't believe I saw Adam performing on Fremont Street 11 years ago. I can't believe that either, Kissy Cat.
That's been around on YouTube.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, it was nice to talk with you all, share a little Halloween spirits with you. And like I said, we'll be back. We're going to be back on pretty regularly on Wednesdays. So look for us, guys. Red, until next time, man, it's been fun. I'll see you later. Have a great day. Guys, we're going to be on Red's channel. We'll see you over there. Have fun. Be safe, guys, on Halloween. Okay? Watch yourselves. A lot of idiots out. Mob vlog.